I'm going to be covering everything in detail, everything you guys need to know about Star Atlas. A very exciting game that I've been waiting for. Not quite close to a release yet, but we're getting close to something pretty interesting because you can start earning some money in the game. So I think that it was time for us to cover it in this stream. And I want to get started by saying, let's go. Let's go. Alright guys, I'm gonna get started by showing you guys a quick trailer of Star Atlas. So let's have a look.
Miles, the station reported a distress signal last night. They think it came from your dad's ship.
The signal, it came from past the outer ring. How is that even possible?
His ship has been reported missing for 20 years now. Pretty sure he's not coming back.
We go there, we might not come back.
What is this place?
This is going to change everything. They found out we have the map. They're gonna kill us for it.
If that's the case, there's only one thing we can do.
So guys, believe it or not, this game is a play-to-earn game. It's a AAA franchise play-to-earn game, and we're going to see in a little bit. Let's get started by talking a little bit about what is Star Atlas. Star Atlas is a virtual gaming play-to-earn metaverse based in the year 2620. In this distant future, three major factions have emerged: the MUD, MUD, territory governed by humankind; the ONI, region as a consortium of alien races; and the Uster sector controlled by sentient androids. These factions are in ongoing struggle for resources, territorial conquest, and political domination. You, a faction citizen of Star Atlas, will have the ability to influence the outcome of the intergalactic conflict while creating the opportunity to earn reward for your contribution. So as you can see, these are some of the assets made for the game. They're using a technique from Unity for creating all those really high definition characters. This is Unity Engine 5, and this team has hired a lot of very talented visual concept artists. And just to give you a sense of how incredible that engine is, this is a stunning visual of Unreal Engine 5. Star Atlas is actually planning to use this type of engine in order to make the game. So as you saw in the trailer earlier, the graphics looks incredible. Obviously that was a trailer, but you'll see soon through some of the graphic and the concept art that I'm going to show you that the overall visual concept and design and gameplay experience is going to be very close to what you are looking at right now. What we're looking at right now is a short gameplay of Ogrimmar, which is World of Warcraft, and it kind of gives you a context of the power of Unreal Engine 5. So right now in the game, you can already buy some of those assets in the NFT marketplace that we'll see in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to show you guys some of the 3D model that are already available. So those are mostly concept art. As you can see here, we see one of the Oni. We see more and more concept art here. I freaking love this visual over here. You see some of the spaceship that you're going to be seeing in the game. And yeah, this is some of the visual art of it. Gotta give you a feel of like Star Trek, Star Wars type of concept. The three races of the game will be the MUDs. So right now you got $21 million in asset in the MUD factions. You got the Oni faction with a $14.9 million, and you got the Uster faction with 14 million. So where's this amount coming from? So this amount is the total assets owned by the player of that faction. So every single player of that faction has bad asset in the game, whether this is a ship or other type of assets, and the total value of that faction has amounted to this amount that you're seeing on the screen. The top player asset value in this faction is $7 $181,000. And as you can see, each faction has about the same, except Mud, where one of the top players has $283,000. Picking a faction in this game is permanent, and every faction has advantages and disadvantages, and it's kind of following the rule of the rock paper scissors. Well, those advantages might play well with certain circumstances and might not play as well with other type of circumstances. Make sure to choose wisely. One thing that's going to be coming up very soon is the organizations. And also you have a list of all the players here. So if you want to look at some of the players in the game, you can search the address, see to what faction they belong to. And if you click on one of the player, you actually get to see their profile and a little bit more detail about what they have. Some of those badges that you see on the screen are licenses, and you actually can buy some of those items. So you'll see some of them are access, some of them are collectible, and the access are kind of like license that will have utility in the game in the future, but not major utility right now. But some people are starting to buy those licenses now because they're planning for the release of the game. Star Atlas has, I will say, a pretty decent team considering what kind of game they're trying to build. They have, as you can see, a lot of concept designer. They're investing heavily on the visual and look and feel of the game, but not as much on the developers. Because I noticed that they have way more concept designer than they have engineering. My guess is maybe there are so many elements in the game that need to be thought of, conceptualized, that they decided to maybe invest first on a lot of conceptual art to create a lot of the assets that you're going to be seeing in the game. And then as most of the concept art are developed, maybe they might start hiring more and more developer. Because right now, the only experience that you have with the game is an in-browser experience where you are essentially sending your ship into a game loop. So you're not seeing any of the 3D art, any of the 3D concept. You're not playing with your character in 3D or, using your ship in the 3D universe that they plan to release in the future. But it's mostly you playing against your browser and essentially just entering your ship into a game loop. Michael Wagner is the CEO of Star Atlas, and he looks like he worked at multi-chain venture for 5 years as the CEO. These brands produce blockchain-focused products, including but not limited to cryptocurrency, base payment processing, and supply chain visibility tools, point of sale, e-commerce integration, mobile wallet, and smart ATM integration. Looks like he is still the CEO of multi-chain venture, as well as the CEO of Automata, and as well as the CEO of Star Atlas. Usually like to see that someone is focusing to one single venture at a time. A lot of involvement here. He's a busy man, but I hope that this is not going to influence the effect that he has on the game. Then there are a lot of concept designers in this company, and we're going to see some of their work from our station. So let's get started with Jonathan Berube, the senior art director. Those are some of his concept art that he's created throughout his career. Will give me a feel of Star Wars. I believe that he worked on Tatooine. As you can see here, some of the ship from Star Wars, really highly detailed. And we can see where, some of the side definition design from the trailer came from. That kind of give me a sense that he knows what he's doing. We also got Edward Denton, one of the art leads on the game. He's previously worked with Unreal Engine, which is going to be one of the main resources for this game. As you can see, he worked on District 9, Chappie, The Hobbit, Spider-Man 2. Then we got Adrian Luchan, another concept designer in the team right now. He's one of the designers of this ship, the Star Atlas concept. More work from him, a lot of space-oriented type of artwork. And then finally, we got the VX artist. So this is the head of visual effects of the game. And what are we looking at right now? We're looking at some of his previous work. As you can see, work on Superman. This game is going to be a massive, big universe where you'll have your ship. There'll be probably planet, probably space stations, and it requires a lot of artists to conceptualize how that world is going to look like. So I was looking quickly at some of the positions that they were hiring for to get a sense of, what they're currently working on and what's coming in the future of this ecosystem. And as you can see right now, the priority for the game is the release of in-game marketplace to trade NFT asset and currency, which already exists, mining resource deposit, material refinement, exploration, resource claim, players faction, ship and space station, customization. And they're currently hiring a lot for some of these positions, some of those engineering roles. And as you know, it's really difficult to find engineers, especially in crypto. So they're probably having also a pretty hard time finding engineers, I'm assuming. As you can see, they also are hiring blockchain engineers for Solana, principal side reliability engineers, additional software engineer. And for the product, they are hiring additional senior concept designers. So there's one open role right now and 3 open role for this one. This is where we start talking about how this game economic work and how you're going to be able to make money in this game and what are some of the assets in the game. So there are some monetary assets in the game such as Atlas and Police, and you also have land ownership NFTs, which are going to allow you to generate extra revenue. By the way, you could have space station, you could have refinery, mining station, and these stations can allow you to generate additional income, but you need to own that NFT. There will also be in-game items such as ship, equipment, crew, ship component, buildings, and blueprints, and in-game resources, so fungible assets that are produced by miner and consumed by production. Let's talk a little bit more about the 2 monetary assets of the game, Police and Atlas. Police is a governance token used at each level of governance, representing financial stake in the game, voting power in the DAO where it is stake, and control of the treasury. It has a fixed supply that will not grow unless a decision to the contrary will be made by governance down the line. Atlas. Atlas is the payment token used as a medium of exchange. It is inflationary, aiming to match the growth of the in-game economy and provide a solid monetary base for in-game economic interactions, an on-ramp to enter the game. To put that in context, Police is kind of like AXS if you put it in context with Axie Infinity, and Atlas is similar to SLP. Police can be acquired in the following ways. Primary issuance, the Star Atlas team may directly sell Police tokens to potential governors. It can be bought and sold on secondary markets, but come with a finite variety of lockup vesting schedule. You can get it through in-game rewards, so completing certain missions in games. And finally, there's also metagames reward, so actively attracting new users that stay for some amount of time or generating some amount of value, organize existing users into guilds, faction, and more based on what these guild faction produce. And also guild alliances will be rewarded with an amount of police based on how long they have actively participated in the universe. The reward structure will be calibrated to disincentivize churn. Very, very interesting. Owning a guild, being active with your guild, having your guild as long as possible, allow you to earn more police in the game. Just imagine if, for example, you could own or earn AXS just by being a guild. If our guild right now in the Axie Infinity ecosystem could earn the token just for being a guild in the ecosystem for a longer period of time, that would be incredible. The total supply of the token, so right now there are 360 million police token. They were distributed as follows. So 22.5% went to private token sale, 1.5% went to public pre-sale, 2% went to public token sale, 4% to listing liquidity pools, 40% to reward emission, and 30% to the team. Oh my gosh, less than 3.5% of the police token currently went to the public. So most of the investors currently are owning the token with the team. I'm not really a big fan of this pie. You usually want the community to have a lot of say in how the economic is going to be given, but considering that 40% is going to come to reward and emission, and with some of the elements that we talked earlier, where they're going to be rewarding guild member for activity and so on, I feel like over time, more and more of that token is going to be distributed to some of the top contributors in that ecosystem. Most games, most company in crypto start not very decentralized, but decentralizes over time. So it looks like the majority of that supply in the launch of the game will be mostly with the investor and the team. And as it's moving forward, the other 50% is going to be distributed to the rest of the community. Then you get Atlas. You know how like in Axie Infinity, how you have sometimes the team changing the in-game economy? So essentially in Star Atlas, the police DAO, that all people that hold the police token, which is the governance token of the Star Atlas ecosystem, will have a say in the economic, regulatory, monetary value of Atlas. Atlas is earned in the game through different means. So you have production, you have mining, you can send your ship for exploration. And also if you own an asset in the game, such as a space station, any farms or miners, then you also can earn rewards in that game. So currently, distribution of the tokens, so with a supply of 36 billion, you got a private token sale at 22.5%, public pre-sale at 1.5%, public token sale at 2%, listing and liquidity 4%, reward emission 65% of that total supply will be rewarded to players, and the team is only getting 5% of that token. So in comparison to the police token, the team had more of the token to have a bigger say in how the game should be governed. But they've removed their percentage in the Atlas token because most of that token will be rewarded to users, to players, for the play to earn economy. So this is the pie chart as you see here. The reward emission 65% going to the community through the play to earn economy. They also have a burning mechanism for the token. And so we were talking earlier about the different way you can earn it. You see, you have mining, you have production, you have crafting, because you could be crafting technology in the game. You have combat. My guess is kind of like looting, for example, if you destroy someone's ship or steal the assets. And you have exploration. So different mean of earning that token. And then during combat, if a ship is destroyed, Atlas is returned to the treasury, to the DAO treasury, and probably redistributed by other means. The market cap of this game right now is 116 million. That's gonna mean a lot. This is not a big market cap right now. If you put that in comparison to other games such as, this is a bit old. I'm going to show you guys the current value, but when Axie Infinity was a $9 billion market cap, for example, you can see that there's a huge room for growth for that game, considering that some of those other play to earn games such as the Sandbox, Decentraland were both above 3 billion, and we are looking at Star Atlas that right now is even less than what it was previously at 366 million. It's only at 100 million market cap right now. Let's think about it in terms of multiple. So if we take Star Atlas, I hope they're going to be able to find it, and we compare with the market cap of Axie Infinity, this is the kind of multiples that we're looking at. So if Star Atlas were to get to the market cap of Axie Infinity, that would be a 35x return. 35x return on that investment. So we're talking about, if whatever you're making in the game monthly, 35x. Whatever you have about the number of tokens that you're holding, 35x. So if you have 1,000 tokens, that $1,000 essentially is worth 30 times value, $35,000. So 35x if it reached the market cap of Axie Infinity. So now we can be a little bit more, we can be a little bit more pessimistic and say that, okay, this game is not gonna, get the market of Axie Infinity. What if you were to make the market cap of another game that is not as popular as Axie Infinity? I mean, the Sandbox is quite popular. It will be even bigger. It'll be like 42x if it were to reach its market cap. Let's assume this is all hype. Then obviously, we're not going to get that type of multiples, and it might never reach the level of Axie Infinity. But if this is not all hype and a game deliver in time, deliver a really nice game, then there's a huge chance that this multiple could be realized. But this is all speculation, and this is not investment advice. Don't take your investment advice from a guy like me that is, on Twitch talking about video games. So now we've talked about the different token, we've talked about Atlas, we've talked about Police, but how much can you actually earn in the game? When you go on staratlas.com, there's a play button, and once you click the play button, you get into your dashboard, and in the dashboard you have access to the mini game. Because this is the only thing that they've released so far. They haven't released a 3D version of the game, but you do get access to a mini game. I want to quickly tell you a little bit more about how this whole game works, where you'll be able to play it. So in order to play this game, because it's on the Solana blockchain, you will need to have a Phantom wallet or any wallet that you can use with the Solana network. This wallet is one that you can download. It's a pretty good wallet that I actually like to use myself. I wish it was available for other networks. It's really, really smooth. It's one of my favorite wallets in terms of UI, design, and experience. In the mini game, you have your home, the standard home where you get the quick link to the marketplace and so on. You get the leaderboard where I show you guys the faction, the organization that haven't launched yet, and the players. Then you get the marketplace, where you can buy ships, structures, resources, collectibles, and other access cards. Some of the ships that are listed right here go all the way for $100,000, but you also have some ships that sell as low as $20. But every single item in the marketplace has its own market, so you can actually trade it on its own market. And if you click on trade here, you can see that the value of those assets could vary. So some people might sell it below this actual market value, like a $19.78 instead of $20, or a little bit more, because this is its own market. And you can buy it in USDC or in Atlas token, depending on whatever you want to do. So just to give you a quick explanation of this page right here. Over here at the top, those are the sell order. So those are what people are willing to take in order to sell those items. At the bottom over here, those are buys order. So those are what people are willing to pay for in order to get one of those ship. So you get buyers and seller. They are debating on the price of the item. They're saying what they want and they're saying what they're willing to take for it. And that creates a market, and then the price of those items fluctuates. So this ship that was going for $300 is currently going below its actual market value, as you can see, and people are actually even asking for less. You also have your inventory, which will list some of the resources that you've bought. You got fuel, food, ammunition, and toolkit that you're actually going to need in the game. Then you got the faction fleet. Essentially, when you get your item, you are asked whether or not you would like to enlist your ship to a fleet. And once you enlist your ship to that fleet, you are able to start earning some reward. So depending on the ship that you have, the daily reward may vary. This ship right here is an extra small ship and is currently earning less than that. Actually, I currently have 19 ship, and 19 ship combined are bringing me 13.9 Atlas per day. So you're probably wondering how much is that. So I'm going to try to show you right away. So this is only generating less than $1 per day. But again, if we get back to what we talked about early on about the multiple potential, you could multiply that by 10 times to have a sense of when this game generates the market cap of Axie Infinity, it'll be able to generate $22. So this is just pure speculation. That doesn't mean this is going to happen, but people that are betting on the ecosystem, this is kind of the kind of thinking that I'm having right now in order to put my investment into that ecosystem. So this jet set is generating 12 Atlas per day. As you can see, these ones, this is 19 ship generating 13 Atlas, and this is only one ship generating 12. Depending on the ship you buy, you'll be able to increase your daily reward. Some ship are even able to generate up to 140 daily reward per day. So I got a couple ships, as you can see, 3 Opal jets, 4 Pierce X4, 1 Pierce X5, 1 Opal jet set, and 19 Thimble Air bike. You can also manage your ship. When you're managing it, you'll need toolkit to repair your fleet, and you'll need ammo to resupply it, and fuel and food. And each of those assets have their own value in the marketplace. Each of those assets have a burn rate. So depending on what asset you have or what kind of ship you have, your burn rate will vary. So for example, for this ship, I need to change my fuel every 1 day and 2 hours. And for this one, it's every 2 days. But if I look at my Opal jets right here, I only need to change the ammo every 4 days, but the fuel every 20 hours. And you can resupply either by clicking on it individually and repairing it, or you can just resupply the entire thing all together by clicking resupply all. From enlisting your ship, you are earning reward in the game. You also have your profile, and your profile will show your wallet address, what organization you belong to, your faction, your universal rank, your organization. As you can see, I'm part of the Oni race here. It'll also show you your top assets that you have in the game. Mine is currently not listed here. I'm not sure why, but I think that could be a bug, but it should be listing how many assets I have in it. So this is a quick walkthrough of the gameplay. Let me know in the comment if you guys have any questions. So there are also different type of resources that you can use in order to find what are the best ship you can buy and what kind of APR you can expect based on the ship that you're getting. One of the two that I found, you can find it at explorer.staratlas.club. They essentially have every single ship listed, all the class, and you'll see the market price of that ship and the kind of daily reward that you can expect to get from it. So if I change the ranking, you can see that the market price often correlates by how much you can make with that ship. So higher the price of the ship, way higher is your daily reward. So if we go down to something a little bit more affordable, and we look at, let's say for example, the Calico Evac currently going for $2,374 will bring you about $106 US per day. I'm always gonna get back to our estimate here of if we were to reach the type of market cap that Axie Infinity has, you are looking at a 30x return for something like that if the game perform as expected. But again, this is all speculation and no investment advice. And then that APR will correspond to about 71%. Use this tool if you want to do a couple of research before buying your ship, see what kind of ship are owned by most factions, getting all of that in detail, what kind of ship each faction actually hold, how many holder they have, and quantity and price and so on. So if you want to now calculate some of your costs, there's this really cool tool, AAP score reward. I'll share this tool in the comments below. But this tool allows you essentially to pick one of the ship that you hold and calculate what kind of reward you're getting for the ship. So you can enter how many ships you have, what's your daily supply, calculate the total atlas required in order to use this ship, so your total cost. So you can do that for every single ship that you're putting enlisted into the fleet and get a sense of how it works. All right, so now last thing I want to cover right now is the operating expenses. So you are not just handing over your ships to your faction, you're also required to keep them supplied. As it turns out, in order to stay fully functional, each ship relies on 4 different resources. We talked about fuels, basic hydrogen fuel cell replenishment. Low energy density can be improved with further refinement. You get ammunition, the most basic form of space grade ballistic ammunition, compatible with kinetic type slotted weaponry, weak again energy shielding, effective again full plating. A toolkit, a regimentary multifunction toolkit effective at hull mending, compatible with repair drones and crewed EVA tasking. And you got food, which looks pretty good. And the food, the latest in molecular gastronomic science, who knew corn could taste this good. Effective in addressing minor homeostatic crew deficiency. So right now, the game that you are seeing right now is called Score Chair 0. It stands for Ship Commission on Remote Expedition. This is an in-game loop where you can send your ship to earn reward in the game. No, it's all automated, so you just enlist your ship and earn the reward. There's no logic right now. It's very similar to Pegasi, where you can just send your horses to a race and it just, you know, based on chances and win rate and their stats, they can win the race or not, and so on. So right now there's not much logic to it right now, but as we're moving forward, they'll be adding more features to that minigame and gear us toward the actual launch of the 3D version of the game. I want to quickly show you guys a trailer. This is what's around the corner. They just made, they say this is a pre-alpha gameplay footage. Let's have a look. Hard to say whether or not this is an actual gameplay. To be fair, to me, it kind of looks more like a trailer. To be fair, I think it's a bit misleading. It's not an actual gameplay. We want to see actual player walking around and doing things. This is, I wouldn't take that as a gameplay. So if you guys want to know how to register for the game, Aethia Industries released a full guide on how to register your player. Like I say, you will have to pick between different races, but let's see what this is all about. When you're picking a guild, you have to pick obviously the right wallet, so with your Solana account. You then be asked to pick a faction between Mud, Oni, and Euster. Some part are not launching today, but there will be no race selection, no avatar creation, no DAC selection. So DAC, it will be like the decentralized group that you could pick, organization. No name selection. So right now you cannot pick your username or anything of the sort. No playable experience just yet. Just the score, the little mini game experience that I showed you guys earlier. So there's also some quick fast. So there are different perks associated with the faction you choose. This means that your in-game abilities will change a little, depending on if you have chosen to be part of the Mud, Oni, or Euster faction. Your faction choice is permanent and cannot be changed. The faction you choose will determine the race of your avatar. Player character, in other words, your avatar race will be that faction's race. On the in-game release cycle, you will be able to recruit additional crew members from different races and use these as your avatar instead. But this is not implemented yet. Registration will cost a small gas fee, so make sure to have some Sol at the ready. So 0.03 Sol should suffice. All right, so they go then a little bit more in detail into each of those items that they just mentioned, you know, the combat perk. One of the things that I mentioned was the rock, paper, scissors based on the advantage of the different faction. Mud, we have firepower and travel distance. Oni will have stealth, scanning distance. Uster will have maneuvering, and Hull's strength. And each of those components will have advantages and disadvantages in that game. Also, they talk about financial perk, financial financing, and all that. You know, the advantage of the different organization. Obviously, if a lot of players contribute money into one faction, then one faction has more money in the game, and I could have some advantages in the game in the future. So if you guys want to check out some of their guide, if you go to afia.com, Star Atlas guide, they have a lot of information about that you can learn about the game, such as the Star Atlas score guide that we talked about, the Star Atlas shipping, building, blueprint, and loyalty, and more things to come and more things to learn about on this page. There's also a Star Atlas wiki where you can learn a lot more about the game more in details. Someone created a map on Reddit that shows the entire universe. He called it a map of Star Atlas, where you kind of see the merge, I guess, planets, the Oni and the Aster. It shows you the different security zone. Going on an expedition in the game can put your asset at risk. You could lose your ship. So for example, if you go on an expedition in a dangerous zone, you might get the reward of mining more rare resources, but you also can risk the reward of actually losing your ship, your fleet. So this game doesn't come without risk. There's going to be different zones in the game with different levels of risk: low, medium, and high. And in here they explain that the low risk zone, LRZ, or also called the safe zone, there'll be no PvP, no player versus player. So damage will come from NPC, so non-playable character, or PvE, player versus environment trait only. And in the medium zone, the one in orange, medium risk zone, MRZ, is within faction borders, but include PvP. You can die here, but you will respawn. At the most, this will be a monetary penalty. And then you get high risk zone, the HRZ. It's a battle royale zone where anyone can attack you, even allies, and perma-death will occur. That means your NFT will be burned. So everything that you see here that is in red, this is the high risk zone. But there will be some advantages of going into the zone, some incentive, like finding really rare resources that could have a lot of value in the game. And that will be the incentive for people to adventure all the way there. Finally, the roadmap, guys. This is the Star Atlas official roadmap. Where are we right now? So we are currently in phase 1. A lot of items were completed, as you can see in green. The score, tier 0, the minigame that we talked about, the player profile, the asset, marketplace, and inventory, the release of the website of the cinematic trailer, the minigame framework, and marketplace. Currently, they are working on the police DAO, the tier 1, the metaverse username, where you'll be able to change username. And we are gearing toward phase 2, where they'll work on the global polish, cream mining and crafting, and UE5 showroom resource. So I haven't talked much about the mining and crafting, but you will have mining structure in the game. Mining structure construction and upgrading, space station structure construction and upgrading, raw material resource excavation, advanced material crafting supply chain operation, structure crafting supply chain operation. Let's get a quick look at some of those structure. So this is some of the structure that you'll be able to claim starting April 20. They've actually pushed down the release of those structure. It was supposed to be released in December, but the date were pushed, and this structure will allow you to earn additional revenue because it'll be a mining structure, like a structure where you actually can earn reward and claim them. You also will be able to have power plants in this game, so you can use that to mine resources. It's a mining equipment class, and there'll be a lot of structure of the sorts. So currently this is in design, not yet in development or completed, still working on the design of these details. So as I mentioned, this game is a multi-year game release, actually playing all the way to 2025. Building a AAA franchise game takes a lot of time, and it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be quick. This is why there's a lot of speculation about the game, about whether or not they'll be able to deliver. There's a lot of speculation on whether or not they'll be able to deliver a very, very ambitious project. It's going to take a long time to build something like this. The quickest way, in my opinion, to get a sense of what they're trying to achieve here is to try Star Citizen. See it for yourself if there's some, opportunities with this type of game. Maybe do some research on what happened with Star Citizen. How's this game doing? How the community has evolved over time? Is this game still popular? Has the game been able to deliver? And what were some of the challenges that they faced throughout the development? And if you can answer some of those questions, you'll get a better sense on whether or not Star Atlas could achieve something of the sort. Because to build a game of that level, it takes money and it takes time, a lot of resources, and a lot of great mind. And then it's still a huge speculation, but a speculation that I'm willing to bet on because of the 30x return. So this is why I am still looking into it. I have already invested in a couple of ships, watching very closely the development of the game, and if things goes as expected, people that were contributing early on will be rewarded. And also I'm looking forward for the airdrop, because I have some speculation that there'll be an airdrop for anyone that been a contributor of the game early on. This is why they're counting the account age here. So I'm looking into the game and really hopeful of what's going to happen. So guys, I think we covered it all. We covered all the detail that I wanted to cover during this video. If you have any additional question, let me know in the comment and we're going to discuss it in details. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I see you in the next one.